Hello, and today I'll be teaching you how to use data types in Python. So now, what are data types? So here are some examples of data types. This str, int, float, list, complex. And there's many more. There's lots of them, but today we're only going to learn these ones. These 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These 5 ones. So these will be for another time. So str, it's short for string. Int is short for integer, and float is just float. List is list, and tuple is tuple. Now these are just some small ones. Now let me give you examples of a string. This is a string. This is a string. X equals hello world. Now this is what you call a string. Okay? Now this is what you call a string. And now what is in the string? We can see hello world. And now what can you see? It's green. But that's not how it is normally. So you can see we have this single mark quotation. Now free print X. We can see you got hello world. Okay. Now we've printed all of this. Now what if we take these away? What could possibly go wrong? Here we have lots of red lines, which means error. If we run this, invalid syntax, because we failed to put quotation marks. And if we put double here on this side, and if we put double on this side, we would still get an error, and this time we'll get invalid syntax. Now it's basically the same thing, one there and one here. But what this actually means, now it would be the same thing as this. Nothing. Now it should be getting a bit clear. Now you can see nothing. Now you can see this, it starts there and it ends there. But we thought that if it starts there, it should end here, and this starts here, and this should end there. But no, it's not like that, because if there was nothing here, then we would get an error. Invalid. So now it's the same thing as invalid syntax, but in a advanced way. Now how it says hello world, and now how how does this not work? This one. So first, let's go to this one. This one starts here, and it ends here. This one starts here, then this has no end. So what if we made the end? Now we don't see any red lines. If we run this, finally we've got a hello world. Now you're probably thinking, what if I put something here? Or what if I put something here? What would happen? You can see we got hello world, but only one F. I thought we wrote two F's, right? No, because this one is using this one, and this one is using this. But because it's in between, it has no option. But it's still technically right. We've only got one error here. So then you're saying, then if this happens, if I can put double here, and if I can put some random words, this ends here, this starts here, this starts here, and this ends here. What if we do this? Well, now we can print. We can make this all together. Put this all together. But then, what if I put a space here? Then there we go. There's one way. And I'm probably thinking, this is the right way to do it. This is how you probably all known in your life. Because this is, so now, if I now print x1, what will happen? Well, you can see we've got the same answer. Because I forgot the space here, like this one. We can see we've got the same answer. Yes, the same answer but in different ways. This one we put nothing here, and it's still added together. So now you can see, so now all of this is just made up of strings, and whatever we can put in the string, see that? Yes, we'll still get no error. Alright, let's just replace this. If you don't know what comments are, then it prevents it from executing the code. So just forget what I just said, and now let's move to integers. Now let's put a comment. This is a integer. Now we can see and the yellow lines don't matter, because if I just hover it on, it just wants me to reformat the file, and yeah, and everything is gone. But leave it. Now this is an integer. X equals to 89. X equals to 89, x equal to 589. Print x. If I change this to print x1, print x1. Run this. Simple as that. Simple. 89, 50, 589. Now, if we compare this Now we can also, now an integer can also be, a string can also be a number. If I wrote this in a string, what we will get, we won't get the answer, but the output will be 56. So then the output is just gonna be like this. This is gonna be what happens. This is what it's gonna happen if it runs. So numbers in a string have no value. They have no value. So if I put this away, so now these have value. These 589, this is 89. This does have value. Now I could do this on this. There we go, 89678. We still got the same answer, didn't we? So this is what you call an integer. I didn't spend too much time on this because it's very easy. Now let's stop this from executing. Now we're gonna go on float. Now floats are a bit like integers. They have no quotation marks, they have nothing. X equals 89. And this is an integer. Okay, this is an integer. And this is what you call a float. Now floats can never be whole numbers. They can never be 589. But they can always be 589.50, 598. We can put any number here, even if it's this long. This is still considered as a float. Now what makes this a float is just one decimal point. Take this out, and there we go. It's an integer. If I put one here, now still a float. What if I did this? It's still a float. Now there's one way. To show that yes, this is. So now let's change this to x3, x2, and x1. Now there's this thing. If I print, we're not going to print x1 this time. We're going to print the type of x1. And now this looks a bit too complicated. Now what all of this basically does, it shows the data type of x1. Now instead of me writing integer, what if I didn't know? If I wanted to make this accurate. Now what if I run this? Look, class int. Now forget about this, forget about this, forget about this. Now we can see, if we go up to our data types, if I just write yes, we you can see int. Now if we scan each and every one, we can find the int there. And int means integer. So once we got this information, then if we go back, you can see we've written integer. Now to save some time, I'm just going to go. Now this one is x2 and this one is x3. On this one's an integer like I wrote, this one's a float and a float. You can see all of that. Then what if now this is sometimes now people get confused if this is an integer or not. Now we know what integers look like. If I run this, look, it's class int. And this still is integer, even though there's two numbers. What if I put this? If I run this, see we got class float. And why is that? This is an integer and this is a float. Well, because x1 is not this, it's this plus this. Now we all know, because this has no decimal number, this is going to be this plus this, but after the answer there's going to be a 0.2. And now we know 0.2, if it has a point, it's a float. Now what if I put 0.8? 8 plus 2 is 10, right? We've still got float. And why is that? Now if I just put x2, now this is not an integer. 589.8 plus 89.2, and I want to print it's 2. And now we're using Python for once. If I run this, 697.0. This is not a number. Even if it's 0.0, it still is. Well, we still have this much to cover. So we know what a float, an integer, a string is. We still have this to do, but we'll do that another time. So this is a float, this is an integer, and now you're probably wondering we didn't do this one. On this, there we go. str, go back, str is string, and yes, this is a string. So we know these are strings. This is an integer, and all these are floats. Well, I hope you now know what integers are, and I'll see you in the next lesson.